what I was going to suggest to you is big tech laying off all the time, putting in lots of recessionary type measures, lots of doom and gloom news that comes out about big tech at the moment, and particularly in this social media downloadable big tech, and everything looks fucking hunky dory. Are they lying to us that this big recession's coming, or are they just kind of trying to streamline a bit?
So I saw Andy Jassy talk a little bit about this at the New York Times, whatever it was, chat festival thing, and he said that basically this is what you should come to expect when times are good and money is flowing free and there's no tightness on debt, on credit, and anything like that. The thing these companies are going to do is basically try everything they can do to grow, and they're going to put money into bets that don't necessarily work out. And that might be products that are successful, but new lines that they want to add to this product. So, for instance, there's been the big thing about Alexa. They've been saying that they've been cutting staff at Alexa. They think it's a big loss loser. Big loser for them, big loss leader. And they think they're going to get rid of it. That's not what Jassy was saying. Jassy was saying that we actually had teams that were working on brand new things for Alexa, but then when we actually sat and thought about them and thought, look, we're in a tighter capital allocation kind of market, we're being punished every time we make a loss. Is this particular add-on to Alexa the thing that we want to do right now? And if the answer to that was no, then they cut the team. So that's where their cuts are coming from. And I think that tends to be where the cuts, or at least the freezes, are coming from across the board, is that the other bets, the things that we're tagging on, or the other bets that we're tagging on to other bets, are the things that these big tech companies are sort of like drawing back on, I guess. Things like Google, you see, through the last recession, through the 2008, they increased their headcount exponentially. They now have an activist investor that doesn't want them to increase their headcount exponentially, but Google seems to be doing it. They've said that they're going to have a freeze, but the freeze has come a little bit late. Their headcount is up absolutely massive at the moment. So, that freeze might just be coming just because they've hired so many previous to the freeze.
They like taking talent off the market, don't they, as well? And but is that a case of they've kind of just grown? That's quite harsh to say, too quickly. I really want a better word than that. But they've sort of grown. Let's take Alexa for example. So they've grown the Alexa, and they've got their core team around Alexa, and then they've got 5 offshoots, which are simple systems that they think could come in. Like one day Alexa might, I don't know, run around and squirt water up your ass or something like that. And they've decided, we did kind of think that might be a good idea, but that's a silly idea, so we're going to take that one away now, and all you people are fired on the water up the arse thing. But the thing that makes you the brandy in the chair, that's one of the things we will probably stick around on. Is it that, as in they've just kind of grown too far, or is it now that they're coming, now that things don't look as good, they are throwing less sticky shit at the wall? Is it, if you get what I mean?
It's responsible growth versus irresponsible growth, isn't it? That's the thing. They're trying to give you the impression that, hey, look, we're not going to try absolutely everything now. We understand that you think that's a bad thing to do, so we're going to go and try just the best ideas. We're going to focus on just our best ideas, rather than, having our second and third rate ideas. And, we've got this money, and money's free at the moment, so we may as well try them all. And there's this huge pool of talent for us to get the engineers in and actually get this thing to happen. Rather than doing all of that, they're just going to focus on their best ideas, which I don't think is a bad thing at all. No,
and it's certainly a good positive spin. If I was being cynical, it's a positive spin on the idea that growth is not slowing, right? Is to say we're not growing less, we're just kind of being a bit more careful with your money, rather than before when we had your money and your investment, and we were just partying with it. We were seeing just what we could get Alexa to do. And now maybe we'll take it a bit more seriously, which isn't a good sign necessarily. If I wanted to frame it badly, I could certainly frame it badly, couldn't I? And I'm not aiming to here, but yeah, very interesting way they're sort of looking at it.
Jassy did touch upon that, because he did say, look, originally they were just a bookseller, and then they tagged on other bits like electronics, and then they tagged on the whole marketplace, and then they tagged on marketing, and then they tagged on AWS, and then they tagged on Prime and things like that, and they tagged on delivery and logistics and warehousing. And all of these things were at one point another bet that they focused on, they dedicated time to, they put money onto. So he's saying that what they're focusing on now is their best ideas. These are the ideas that eventually become pillars of Amazon or pillars of Prime or an add-on to Prime or something that helps reduce customer churn. And that's all they're doing. All the other ideas that they've now decided that are either too expensive, not worth doing, not getting the traction, second-rate ideas, they're getting cut. They're just going to focus on the best stuff.
Yeah, I wonder if Netflix is going to take note of that. Something that I'm sure we'll hear about later towards the end of the podcast.